We've heard tell of a secret menu item at Panda Express that combines orange chicken and chow mein and puts it into a burrito. Sounds good to me. It's got to sound good to you. There is no way orange chicken and chow mein, which you eat together all the time, you get the noodles on the fork, then you stab a piece of the crispy, sweet, delicious, zesty orange chicken, you take a bite. So what's the difference if you just make it easier to eat that inside of a tortilla as a burrito? There's no difference. It's gonna be freaking amazing. We start by prepping our chicken. And you'll see I have in front of me 2 chicken thighs. And look, yes, they're fatty. You pay more for chicken thighs, you get less fat, they're trimmed up better. You pay less, apparently like I did this last time, and you have a ton of skin and extra fat to deal with. So I'll quickly just clean these guys up. Then we'll cut them into 1-inch pieces. And as with anything that we're gonna cut and cook, you want your pieces to be roughly the same so they cook at roughly the same time. Okay, when your chicken's all cut up, relatively the same, we make the stuff that it goes into. We start with 2 eggs in a bowl, which we beat. Add a pinch of salt to. That's done. Next, we take about 1.5 cups of flour and add a 1/2 cup of cornstarch. The cornstarch is going to help make this pretty crispy. That's what we want from it. Oh boy. I know you know what's coming next, right? Chicken, egg, flour, cornstarch, plate. Chicken, egg, flour, cornstarch, plate. And repeat like this. And this is kind of grody because, well, you got to do 1 piece at a time. I mean, you can do a couple, but they need to be separate, right? So I'll drop a couple in, but you don't, hey. I'll just drop a couple in. The point is they need to be separated when they go into the oil, because if they're not, it'll just make a big giant clump of chicken, and that's not the point. But get off as much of the egg as you can. Put it in. We'll throw 3 at a time in here. Off and then into the flour. This is using the wet hand, dry hand principle. One stays wet, one stays relatively dry. And when they're well coated, pick them up, shake them off, and we'll just put them on here. And these are going to be the way we cook our little chunks, 1 at a time into the oil. So more chicken into the flour, more flour on top of the chicken. Max just told me that my energy level is kind of low. And he's right, I'm not feeling well. I did have that CAT scan. It has been confirmed that I have another f***ing kidney stone on my left-hand side, which is exciting because I've only had kidney stones on my right-hand side. And if you've had kidney stones, you'll know that generally there's not much they can do. But wait, you wait it out, literally and figuratively. So I have some medication, and something should happen in a couple days. And if it doesn't, then I'll go see the urologist. You know, that's a fun trip, because the first thing any urologist wants to do is give you a rectal exam. I'm here for my kidneys. No problem, bend over. Kidneys, I said, yeah, but let's check. Let's check under the hood while you're here, Mr. Zion. You can never be too careful. And look, I know that they get a lot of information from doing that. It's a very important check for guys. But really? Do you have to do that every time? Hey, I just really, they checked me a month ago. Well, I just like to make sure. All right. Fine. Fine. I remember the very first time I saw a finger condom in a doctor's office. I was like 16. Maybe 15, I don't know, I hadn't gone to a big doctor yet, I was still a pediatrician, and there were this jar of little tiny condoms, and I sat and I'm looking around. You know, you look around the doctor's office. There's tongue depressors, there's the thing they stick in the ear, you're checking everything out, and I look, and there's this little jar of the tiniest condoms I've ever seen. I started thinking, who would those be? Who would those be for? Oh, and then I found out they were for me. Okay, continue with your chicken. When you're all finished with the chicken, egging, and flour cornstarching, we'll leave them for a sec and we'll begin the sauce. As the name would imply, we need some orange in this. We'll start with some orange zest. Zest, the outside. The really flavorful outside. I'm using a microplane zester. We can put a link. It's really like the best thing for this. For citrus, oranges, lemons, limes, grapefruits, chocolate. Chocolate on top of a dessert looks beautiful with this, but we just want the orange, not the white that's underneath it. The white that's underneath it is bitter. And this helps you get just the orange part off, like so.
By the way, you have some flour on your face.
I have flour on my face?
Go ahead, yeah.
Can I get it off?
Just a tiny bit right here. You're good now.
Thanks, Max. Lets me say all that with flour on my face, then corrects me. All right. The smell from right here, standing right here with this zesting is amazing. So get about half this big orange worth of zest. A little goes a long way. And you can get the rest out with your finger. Now we want the juice. And by the way, it's easier getting the zest from a whole orange rather than it is from a half. So if you're gonna cut it, make sure you get the zest first. I'm looking for seeds, and so far I'm not really seeing any, which is great. And you don't want seeds because you don't want seeds. You don't want to chew on a seed. Oh, this is an amazing smelling orange, by the way. You could use orange juice. I just don't think for a dish like this, you're gonna go to the trouble of cutting chicken and coating it and then deep frying it and making a sauce. I think you're better off to use a whole orange. Okay, and when we're done, we add a little sweetness in the form of brown sugar, honey, soy, some rice vinegar for that little, you know, orange chicken's a little, it's got a little tang to it. Well, it comes from the rice vinegar. We want some ginger and garlic, so we'll put fresh chopped ginger in. Could you use powdered if you had it, Max?
No.
You actually could. Wouldn't be as good. And honestly, if you're squeezing your own oranges. Look, there's nothing like fresh ginger. Nothing. So just buy it. Garlic. And some red pepper flakes, because we can and we must. Then we just mix this. And then we'll put this into a pan on the heat. And look, it's thin, right? But it is going to thicken over time a little bit. You certainly smell the delicious orangeness of it right here. And then we're going to help it near the end get a little thicker with a bit of cornstarch and water. But for now, we'll get our chow mein ready. So celery, just into, you know, little thin pieces on a diagonal. So look nice. And these guys will go into our pan. We're gonna add some cabbage. Green cabbage, cutest little cabbage I've ever seen, by the way. And some onion, not too much. It's great. Drop that guy in. And for a little crunch and color, some carrot. We'll just flatten these sides down, make thin little matchsticks out of them. Throw these guys in too. They'll now go on the heat if there's room. And they go, they'll get a little shot of oil. And when they start to sizzle, we'll add a little bit more, including the chow mein. But look where our sauce is. You see it's starting to bubble now. It's thickened, I don't know, maybe a tiny bit. Hardly noticeable, but we're gonna help that by mixing plain cornstarch with a little water until smooth. And by the way, cornstarch is the way to go because it's not lumpy like flour. We add this to our sauce. Start with about half. And we mix. Which, by the way, will be a t-shirt very soon.
T-shirt is.
I'm sorry, which is a t-shirt right now. Check below. You can see how this tightened up, right? Nice. We'll just take this off the heat, let it sit. We'll warm it back up when we need it. Chicken time. We're gonna go in one at a time. Because as I said, a bowl of clumped orange chicken sucks. And as we've talked about before, when we deep fry, if you put too much in, you'll just really drop the temperature of the oil. So we'll go about half, and we'll do the other half after. And when it goes in, you want to give it just a little of this. Make sure everybody's separated. And this is going to be 3-ish, maybe 4 minutes, depending on the temperature. It should be about 350 degrees. And while the chicken cooks, we add a little soy sauce to our veggies that will become our noodles. And a little oyster sauce. We mix. Smell delicious. And when it's hot and happy, we can add some noodles. And look what we're using. I'm using refrigerated, these are actually like ramen noodles, but they're perfect because there's no boiling. Look, they're fresh. Almost every supermarket I walk into has these. So we'll bust it open. Don't go, I can do this. And I did. We break them into the pan and mix. Just like that. As they start to warm up with these vegetables, they will soften, they will separate more, and life will be amazing. So just do this. We're going to come back to this in a bit and continue, but for now, this is exactly what we want. Chicken check, quick. Okay, in a minute or so, and then we're going to be there. So this strainer thing I'm using is sometimes called a spider, sometimes called a Chinese fishing net. But it's great because it's big, holds a lot, and it's really easy. Perfect. Next batch. There you go. My little friends. Cook well, my little friends. Okay, there we have it. And in a few minutes, we're making an orange chicken chow mein burrito. But while we're chilling, waiting, how do you not do this? No seeds, no green onion, but with the chow mein, wow. Alrighty, so this second batch is there. Let it drain a bit. Put it on. You can see that I brought the sauce back. I'm letting it warm up because, well, we want the sauce warm when these guys go in. Okay, now warm up our chow mein. Oh boy, this is going to be fantastic. I don't want to put them in the sauce until the tortilla is ready because they'll start to get soggy. Let's do this. It's tortilla time. So here we go. My favorite taco shop tortillas will be our base. So I'm going to throw this on the Evo to get it warm and pliable. It won't take long. Now check this out. While that's happening, let's put some chicken in here. In it goes. Now we mix. Look at that familiar look, and definitely this familiar smell and tang. Okay, that's ready. We build. Here we go. Start here with some of the chow mein. This is just going to be a little silly, I think. Silly, delicious. I was thinking what would be nice in terms of contrast would be some white rice on top of this. So at least at this point, once the chicken goes on, it's somewhat reminiscent of orange chicken at Panda on a bowl of rice. And now you know what? Now a bed of orange chicken. The smell, I keep saying it, I'm just telling you, one of the best parts of this. A couple more. I think that's good. One more big guy here. Now, when I have orange chicken, I always like green onions on it because they're gorgeous and they add that flavor that I love. I love sesame seeds. Okay, so right there, if you took a look at this just straight down from the top, you'd be like, hey, that's just fantastic orange chicken with some chow mein and rice. Nothing unusual. And the last thing I do before I eat my orange chicken on rice with chow mein is I give it a little sriracha. Okay, now we're talking. So shall we roll? Top over, make it snug. Bring in the sides. Pull and roll. Hello, handsome. Should we put on the Evo for a little color? Okay. I just want to give it a little hint of color, a little pop of color, a little extra crisp on the outside. Why not? We'll do both sides. That's all I'm asking for. A little crisp, a little landing strip of golden brown. Wrong term, my bad. I didn't mean that. Forget that I said that. Landing strip.
Does the tortilla match the drapes?
That's funny. Are you ready, Max? Oh, did you hear? Should we weigh it?
Yes.
We haven't weighed it for a while. Look, it's for sure not as heavy as some we've made, but it's got some heft to it. What is that, almost 1.25 pounds? It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. And it's time. And we look. Hello, children. I was kind of hoping I would just get the end of a whole piece, but look how beautiful that is. Goodness gracious. I'm dying for a bite, man. Seriously? Dying for a bite. And I can smell it. That thing. Yeah. Did you hear that? Hey. Fly wants my orange chicken chow mein rice burrito. I told my wife about this. She goes, well, that just sounds stupid. And guess what? It's fucking amazing. It's everything you want in a burrito. I don't know what it's missing. Look in here. Hear that? The birds just started singing. They're so happy for me. Look in here. Goodness gracious, son. Whether or not this is on the Panda Express secret menu, doesn't matter. Make it. If you want to buy the components and just put it together, I'm not going to beef on you for that. I'm really not. That shot of sriracha was money. The whole thing is money. And I don't use that term money. I got to find something else to say. That shot of sriracha was tremendous, and this whole thing is outstanding. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for being here. People say, wait, why don't you weigh 1,000 pounds? If this is your motto and you cook all day long, why are you not 1,000 pounds? And I say, it's because I don't eat everything. I'll have another bite or so of this. Max will have some bites. You can't finish this. I mean, you could, but I'm not going to. Thanks for hanging with us. It means a lot.